All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. That wasn't pretty. That wasn't comfortable. And that's definitely wasn't the kind of performance that leaves you buzzing on your way home. But for all of these Arsenal fans that went to Everton to watch that game, there must be a lot of relieved Arsenal fans heading back home tonight. But sometimes in a title game, title race, especially away from home in December, in a stadium built to suffocate games, that's the only sentence that matters, right? And I said this, in our preview when we talked about, this game and Everton, and I couldn't see more than a 1-0 victory for Arsenal because I knew this was the kind of performance that Everton were going to bring to Arsenal. They're going to be compact. They're going to challenge Arsenal to break them down. And Arsenal got a penalty, hit the woodwork twice, clean sheet, and a game that, if we're being truly honest, could have gone very wrong with any one bounce. Guys, let's get into it. 3 ups, 3 downs. Everton versus Arsenal. Okay, so let's get this out of the way very quickly. First up, for me, guys, I just want to say this game, we banked it, right? And check out my podcast on what Arsenal needs to win the league. I put this game under the manageable game bucket, where we had a run of games where we needed to absolutely get points from. Those games were Everton away, Nottingham Forest away, Leeds away, Brentford away, Brighton away, Wolves away, West Ham away, Bournemouth away, and Newcastle at home. The first one we've ticked the box, which is Everton away. So for me, that's got to be an up. Got to be an up, guys. And we got a 1-0 victory on the ground that is always very, very difficult for Arsenal. Last season, we went there, we considered an equalizer, and there was a very scary time in this game when Barry was kicked by Saliba, and there's a lot of people that are calling for that to be a penalty, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people still calling for that to be a penalty even right now, even going into the week. But Arsenal got lucky and moved on. So let's take that. Let's take that. Clean sheet in that one. Let's kick it on. Now for me, second up, Gyökeres scoring the goal. I know it seems very trivial. It seems very inconsequential, but I think that was massive. I think it was massive for Arsenal, and the way that he took that penalty, I think will stay in his muscle memory, give him good confidence, because we're going to need Gyökeres. We're going to need him. And but what I do want is Arsenal to. Anyway, I'm going ahead of myself. So let's just stick with that second up. That finish was good. It was a lot of pressure taking that penalty, and he responded under pressure, and I like that. I really like that because I think the pressure is only going to mount, especially with Man City and Haaland. Man City just have Thanos up playing for them. It's just inevitable, right? There's just no way to go about it. But yeah, he was calm, he was physical. He's just not getting the service. He's not. I mean, you saw that pass by Saliba, into him, and Tarkowski made a huge block. He should have scored. That was the goal. But I don't see a lot of those passes to Gyökeres. So he really should be getting those services, but he's not. Arsenal needs to fix that. There is a problem. There is a problem with the striker that they have, and it's not because of the striker, it's because of the rest of the team. So I don't know whether we're going to have enough time this season or the patience to work this out. But yeah, something has got to be done, and it's probably going to get ugly before it gets better. Okay, so third up for me, defensive clean sheet. We've not had one in a long time. A clean sheet is just what the doctor ordered in this game. Arsenal have been conceding way too many goals across competition, except in the Champions League, where we've been, very robust, but conceding goals left, right, and center. And after that Villa and Wolves game, I think this was important. Clean sheet away from home in a stadium designed to be hostile. We actually turned this around on Everton because Everton, when they win games, they usually don't concede a goal. And we did an Everton to Everton. And we hit the woodwork twice, which was something that you've got to look at. And second half were better. I think in the cold light, immediate reaction after the game is very difficult to see that. But I'm gonna have a look in the rewatch and then see what happened in that game. And sometimes it appears worse because of all the nerves and nervousness. But sometimes when you go back and you watch the game again, you see a lot of the good things that Arsenal did in that game. So let's see. Okay. Just one final thing on the ups. Style points do not, give you anything in December. It's 3 points. You take it and go. Now, people forget that, Manchester City, won a game against Leeds 4-3, right? And don't forget when they also went to Burnley, they conceded goals as well. So listen, nobody talks about that, but that was a very lucky escape. And City had that, period where they just scored just the extra goal. And I think Arsenal are going through that. So we've got things to fix, but I don't think we should be overly panicking at this point because that's exactly what people want. So that we can pile the pressure on the guys. Okay, let's quickly get that because I want to keep this, very short. Actually away from home, away in Spain today. So just bringing you this content immediately after the game. Now, first up for me, chance conversion, still a thing. Let's be honest. This game should have been dead before the 70th minute. 2 shots off the woodwork, multiple box entries, territory control. Yeah, they stayed at 1-0. Everton, you get away with that against elite opposition or late season pressure games. That margin tightens fast. It's just a reminder. It's a reminder to Arsenal. We still need to be ruthless, not just long control phases. Okay, let's go into second down. The bench didn't change the game that much, honestly. Martinelli came on, Merino came on, and I don't know how much of that made that much of an impact. I think Martinelli was slightly a little bit better, when he came into the game. But again, Arsenal kind of went into protection mode, even when those changes came in. Even Jesus went into protection mode. He had, a time where he got into the box, should have taken the shot, but I think he was, in my head as I was watching that, I was thinking, Jesus is taking the extra touch to kill down the seconds because he trusts his skill and he trusts his ability to go past players. So I don't know if the subs made it. It just felt like they saw out the game. Okay, listen, third down for me is that this is clearly a blueprint, right? Everton didn't invent anything new. Low block blueprints is now very clear for teams, especially in those games that I've mentioned that Arsenal have got to win. Teams are going to sit deep, they're going to delay, force Arsenal wide and pray for a moment, which eventually might happen. So again, this is another data point. Mikel Arteta needs to solve this problem, for Arsenal. Listen, there's lots you can say about this game, right? As I just round up, Everton didn't create much. I don't remember a number of times that they went into the box and troubled David Raya. They just wanted to get that moment, set pieces, turning every duel into a scrap. I can't remember the guy's name who was in the middle of the park, but he was just relentless, for Everton. And if Everton had scored first, this game becomes a nightmare. So yes, in a way, Arsenal, we're a little bit lucky. And we've got to cut out this control without conviction, where we just control games and, one set piece, one deflection, one referee's decision could ultimately change things, for Arsenal. Listen, I don't want to ignore the elephant in the room. Teams are going to do this. They're going to do this. But let's be clear, about this. I am relieved, satisfied with the points. It's 3 points. It's tension followed by relief. And if you walk away thinking that, oh God, that was over, instead of, wow, we're flying, you're not wrong. but you're also not doomed. This is December football. Okay, so what happens next, guys? Cup game against Crystal Palace. We rotate, we reset. I don't want to see Saka in that game. Don't want to see Odegaard in that game. I definitely don't want to see Declan Rice in that game. You've got to trust your squad. I think the Brighton game is the way more important game, for Arsenal. So I think you rotate. I think you get Jesus his first start, in this game, and then you play Noni Madueke, and yeah, you go ahead and win that game against Crystal Palace. I'm going to do a preview and a breakdown to that because that turns around very, very quickly on Tuesday. But yeah, guys, lucky, yeah, a bit convincing, no. Important, absolutely. Take the 3 points, fix the issues, and move on. Guys, let me know how you're feeling, relief, frustration, or both, and what worried you most tonight. We go again. We have to. I'll see you at the next one.